Our next topic on today's show is a World Cup topic. So I'll remind you that World Cup coverage is brought to you now by Oakland County FC. They are celebrating 10 years of summer soccer in Southeast Michigan in 2026. Visit Oakland County FC online for more details. So over the weekend, Atlanta joined the group of cities that announced that their FIFA Fan Fests will be free of charge. And people's hackles up, quite rightly, when New York, New Jersey announced that they would be the first sanctioned FIFA Watch Party Fan Fest that would, in fact, be charging fans. So since that news in New York, New Jersey charging, Kansas City, Houston, Atlanta, Philadelphia, Vancouver, and Toronto have all said the Fan Fests will be free.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is just part and parcel of the destruction of the idea of what the World Cup is supposed to be by this current administration of FIFA, right? This current FIFA. Now, the World Cup was given to the United States before Gianni Infantino became president of FIFA, but he has done everything he can to leverage this tournament happening in North America into a way to just fill up those FIFA coffers, squeeze American soccer fans and people traveling to America for every single dollar possible. And it is so ugly and so gross and so outside of what the tournament's supposed to be, what the game is supposed to be. And I know there are cynical people out there, and I tend to lean into cynicism quite a bit in my life, but there are cynical people out there who say, well, this is just how it works now. Like, what are you going to do? Every sports team is a business. Every sports enterprise is a business. They're all trying to get as much money as possible out of us. But that's not how this is supposed to go, right? We can acknowledge that while this is the way it is all gone, and FIFA is clearly trying to run with the pack that is every other sports business on the planet, trying to get as much money as possible and thinking nothing of the traditions of the game, the spirit of the game, the people that are actually supposed to be serviced and brought together through the sport. Even if they're just running with the pack, we can acknowledge it's wrong. We can say we're talking about fan fests here. Yes, some of them will be free. It's such a funny thing. It makes it like, oh, the ones that are free, good for them, but you can't applaud that. That's standard. That's just that's the bare minimum of what you're supposed to do with these things, Rob.
So devil's advocate here. So these cities are being put upon to host an event that could go on as long as 6 weeks, provide tech setup, security, and FIFA has restrictions on what sponsorships and what other sort of vendors they can include in these to make it difficult than it could be to recoup money. And the reports are saying that in some of the bigger cities that these fan fests could cost about $1 million a day to operate. That seems high, but according to front office.
Hold on, wait a second. Do you know who has the money to pay for the fan fest, Rob? Who has the money to pay for the fan fest? Why does the city have to pay for the fan fest? Why does FIFA, and this is not new to this tournament, but why does FIFA why do they come into a city? Why do they demand that the city pay for security, block off entire regions of a city in order to benefit FIFA? Why is FIFA demanding that they not be taxed on any of the money that they make in a given city? Why is FIFA doing all those things? Because that right there speaks to what's happening here, right? That this is about lining FIFA's pockets. And, you might say, well, that doesn't go into the pockets of the individuals necessarily, but absolutely it benefits everybody that works with FIFA to have FIFA just raking it. And again, they are taking advantage of countries that want to host the World Cup. And look, I'm no fan of Rahm Emanuel, generally speaking, but good for him. Good for him for saying, no, Chicago's not doing this nonsense. We're not letting you suck us dry and say, oh, but it's the game you're getting. No, that's, again, if you can't handle organizing the world, you already are sitting on a pile of cash. You're already that dragon from the books on top of the pile of gold. Like, you're already there. Why do you need to do this?
And that's a good point about Rahm Emanuel. I forgot about that. A former mayor of Chicago, for those who don't know. But yeah, when the opportunity to host Chicago was very vocal about saying no, thank you, and is definitely a missing dot on the map for the World Cup. I think some people that haven't been paying attention assume that Chicago is a host city, but some of the regulations and some of the allowances and some of the rules that FIFA is imposing on host cities is pretty onerous. I remember there's basically like a commerce, like an unquestioned commerce period where like I think we're probably in that time period where FIFA can do like any kind of business they want. And then they'd have to take down all the sponsorships and billboards in certain areas and basically like take over the city economic and physically for the duration of that host time. So that is a big ask from FIFA to put on local jurisdictions and just cities in general. So it's a big ask. So you can see why maybe there's a little bit of hesitancy for cities to jump in. And I should say that host committees have petitioned for hundreds of millions of dollars in funding from federal and local governments to help pay for the security. And in this front office report says, in one extreme case, the San Francisco 49ers have promised to cover any deficit the Bay Area Hosting Committee cannot make up.
Yeah. But again, this is what FIFA does. They go, we're bringing the world sport to you. And then basically saying, oh, for the good of the sport, for the good of your community, other people should pay for everything. Even though FIFA is going to rake in money hand over fist through ticket sales and through their sponsorship deals, and again, through making cities sign these agreements, which ultimately benefit FIFA dramatically over the cities where the games are happening, FIFA's not willing to put their money down to actually make it accessible in the way it should be accessible. And I am seeing people say, why do we need official watch parties? Just go to a bar. Yeah, go to a bar. Like meet up with your friends, try to organize. But there's something to be said for thousands of people in one place celebrating that together, right? Now, going to the game is one thing, but if you can't spend the money to go to a game because FIFA has made that nearly impossible, then going to a watch party is the second best thing, right? I've gone to plenty of bars and watched games and been around strangers and celebrated the big moments, and that's great. But there's something else about the energy of a crowd. You're not getting it in the stadium. You can get it from thousands of people together in one place, in a park, watching on a big screen, enjoying those things. And again, I don't know. This genie is out of the bottle and we're not putting it back in.
Yeah, when you think about watching the World Cup and the celebrations for American related stuff, I think about that town center in Kansas City. I think they call it Soccer City or something like that. But the celebration of goals there looks like an incredible moment, and I get a little goosebumps thinking of that.
Power and Light District or something like that in Kansas City. I think that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, that looks like an incredible experience. Like if you're not able to be in the stadium celebrating, that looks like an experience worth having. Like I said at the top, Kansas City, Houston, Atlanta, Philly, Vancouver, and Toronto have all confirmed their FanFests will be free. But places like Atlanta and I think one or two others will have upgrade experiences that you can pay for. But there are 9 other host cities that have not confirmed the status of the watch parties. For example, it's referenced here in this article in Front Office Sports that Seattle intends or intended that the FanFest be free to spectators. So there's still 9 cities where it's up in the air.
I understand somebody is talking about Jersey. So let's put Chris's comment here because he's an ultra. Don't like it, but living in New Jersey, do not want taxpayer getting stuck with the bill. New York City gets cash and glamour. Jersey gets the bill. Okay. I understand that in some of these cases, these localities are stuck between a rock and a hard place, right? You want to do the Fan Fest. FIFA wants you to do the Fan Fest, but you're obviously talking about significant money, as you said, to organize and security and traffic control and all the off-duty police officers and all that stuff. I get it. Again, it feels as though there should be a better way to do this than pushing the bills onto the hosts in these situations when we're not talking about the game in the stadium. And like, I don't know. Again, this is complicated stuff in terms of who should pay for what. It just feels though FIFA is taking advantage of us, and that sucks.
Yeah, no doubt. Definitely trying to get the squeeze wherever there's any juice remaining. So the remaining cities, Seattle, Miami, Guadalajara, Mexico City, and Monterrey, have not yet made it clear whether they will charge or not. And as we wrap up, I'll remind you again that Morning Kickaround's World Cup coverage is brought to you now by Oakland County Football Club. They're celebrating 10 years of summer soccer in Southeast Michigan in 2026. Visit Oakland County FC online for more.